Good day everyone, I am Mark Andre Simorillo and we are here to discuss the Module 6 which is entitled Closing the Project. Here are the learning objectives. First is to identify action that should be taken during the process of closing a project. Next is to conduct a post-project evaluation. Third is to discuss the value and use of lessons learned. Next is to explain the importance of organizing and archiving project documents. Next is to obtain customer feedback about the project. And lastly, to describe situations that could result in early project termination. When it comes to project management, closing out a project isn't just a matter of executing deliverables. Though the process may seem tedious or overly administrative, a formal closure phase ensures all loose ends are tied up. Documentation is designed and approved, contractors are paid, and everyone is on the same page. The closing phase also gives you the opportunity to review and evaluate the project's success or failure, which is crucial for planning and executing successful projects in the future. So, what is project closure? The project life cycle consists of 5 groups. First is the initiating process group. Next is planning process group. Third is executing process group. Next is monitoring and controlling process group. And lastly, closing process group. Initiating process group. Initiating is define a new project or a new phase of an existing project. Ito ang unang yugto kung saan binibigyan kahulugan ang bagong proyekto o bagong bahagi ng proyekto. Sa yugtong ito, ina-appoint ang project manager, ina-assess and dinidefine ang scope and goals ng project. In planning process group, planning is establish project scope and objectives and define how to meet objectives. Ito ang proseso ng pagtakda kung paano makakamit ng mga layunin ng proyekto. Isa na rito ay develop a workflow to ensure that teams meet vital benchmark for project computation o pagbuo ng workflow o plano para maabot ang lahat ng benchmark. Next is pagbuo ng scope at a more granular level. Assess checkpoints, measure and allocate project materials, and also consider timetables. In executing process group, it complete defined work o dito naman isinasagawa ang mismong trabaho na ayon sa plano. It manage teams, monitor timelines, or balance stakeholder involvement, ensure that each step of the project is leading towards the stated outcomes from the initiating process. Sinisigurong bawat gawain ay naka-align sa layunin ng proyekto. In monitoring and controlling process group, it track, review, and regulate the progress. Kabilang na dito ay ang pag-track progress and address any challenges that may arise or yung mga problema na pwedeng mabuo. Ina-adjust dito yung plano dahil sa mga problema nga pwedeng dumating. Measure project execution against project planning and project outcomes. Review budget and reassess cost. Ensure dependent processes are on schedule. Sinisiguradong yung mga process na ginagawa ay nakabase sa schedule. Lastly is the closing process group. Closing process group, it formally close the project. O ito na yung mga final na yugto ng project. It determine if project was completed within budget and on time. Perform due diligence for necessary processes. Assess the strengths and weaknesses of the project. Identify key teammates and hand out awards. The project closure process ensures that all work has been completed according to the project plan and scope. Halimbawa na dito ay kung ang proyekto ay paggawa ng event, lahat mula planning hanggang execution ay naisakatuparan ayon sa napagkasunduan. Next is all project management processes have been executed. Ito ay para masigurong naging maayos ang takbo at hindi nagkulang sa pamamahala. Also, you have received final sign-off and approval from all parties. Kapag may sign-off, ibig sabihin ay hindi na pwedeng balikan o baguhin kung ano ang natapos, maliban kung may bagong proyekto.
Good day, I'm Drake Bonita. Now, I will be discussing the importance of closing a project and some of the steps to closing a project. Let's tackle first the importance of closing a project. Importance of closing a project. Closing a project is an important phase that should not be skipped. Pwedeng maisip ng iba na kapag natapos na ang first 4 phase of project tulad ng initiation, planning, execution, and monitoring ay pwede nang makonsider na tapos na ang isang project. But actually, that's simply not. Completing the main phase doesn't automatically mean the project is truly finished. Ang project ay kinakailangan pang dumaan sa tinatawag na proper closing process. Dahil kapag walang proper closing process, maraming importanteng details ang pwedeng makalimutan that can lead to problems like confusion, never-ending projects, and even unsatisfied clients. That's why it's very important to have a formal project closure process. It ensures everything is properly completed, all responsibilities are clear, and the project ends smoothly without any problems. The following are several problems that can avoid with the help of project closure. First is repeating mistakes on future projects and objectives. One of the benefits of properly closing a project is that it helps us avoid repeating the same mistakes in future projects. Closing a project gives us a chance to learn from experience and improve our performance in future projects. Second is having final products or deliverables without dedicated support and resources. Project closure also prevents having final outputs that no one maintains or supports after the project ends. That's why project closure is important. It ensures that what you work for continues to be used and supported even after completion. Third one, failing to identify the team or individuals who will own and maintain solution following final delivery. Project closure helps clearly identify who will take ownership and responsibility for the final output. Through project closure, responsibilities are made clear, ensuring that someone is always accountable for managing and maintaining the project's results. Last is creating liability issues resulting from incomplete payments, contracts, or deliverables. Project closure also helps avoid legal or financial problems caused by unfinished payments, contracts, or deliverables. That's why properly closing a project is not just about organization. It also protects the team and the organization from future problems. That's why following a clear project closure plan is important. It ensures a smooth handover, avoids confusion, keeps everyone informed, and marks the official completion of the project. In short, project closure is not just the end, it's the final phase that secures the project's success. Let's come now to our next topic, which is the 7 steps to closing a project. After finishing all the main parts of project, it's important to follow these steps to make sure everything is properly completed and turned over. These steps helps us end the project successfully and avoid future problems. So, I will discuss the first 4 steps. First step, formally transfer all deliverables. The first step in closing a project is to formally transfer all the deliverables to the client. Ang ibig sabihin nito, ang pagbigay sa client ng final product o output na nakalagay sa project plan. Kaya importanteng siguruhin na kompleto lahat at maibigay ng maayos bago ma-consider ang project na tapos na. So, formally transferring all deliverables ensures that the client receives what they expected and confirms your project is completed. Second step, confirm project completion. The second step is to confirm that the project is officially complete. Hindi pwede na kapag sinabi lang ng project team na tapos na ang project ay okay na. Kailangan lahat ng taong involved dapat mag-agree na lahat ng task ay tapos na at approved na sa lahat para maiwasan ng confusion o extra request pagtapos ng project. So, confirming project completion helps avoid misunderstandings and makes the closure official. Third step, review all contracts and documentation. The third step is to review all contracts and documents related to the project. Ito ay importante para masiguro lahat ng napagkasunduan ay natupad, nabayaran na lahat ng kailangan bayaran at wala nang natitirang obligasyon o missing files. Reviewing contracts and documentation ensures that everything is legally and financially settled before closing the project. Fourth step, release resources. The fourth step is to release all project resources. Kapag tapos na ang project, ang resources gaya ng mga tao, materials, and equipments o perang ginamit para sa project ay kailangan ng i-release para magamit pa sa iba pang task o projects. Releasing resources helps maintain organization and ensures everything is used in the project is properly returned or reassigned. That's all. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, my name is Richard. Today I will discuss the continuation of steps to closing a project. Number 5 is conduct a postmortem. This is the part where you need to review the entire project para ma-check if nagkaroon ba ng error or successful ba to. To review your project, you need to consider checking if did we stay within the budget, did the team manage their time effectively, were there issues with the quality or na-compromise ba yung project along the way. Kasi once na hindi kayo sumunod sa nakalaan na budget nyo, maraming maapektuhan. For example, for our cassava chips, we only have 500 pesos as our budget. 250 pesos for cassava roots, 100 for packaging, 150 for 3 powder flavors. But, yung naka-assign namin na bumili or mag-grocery is bumili siya ng worth of 350 pesos na cassava roots. Ang tanong ay, nagstay ba siya sa budget? Yes or no? The answer is no. Kasi nga yung budget namin sa cassava roots ay 250 lang, pero yung binili niya ay 350 pesos. So, dahil nga yung naka-assign na mag-grocery or mamamalengke ay hindi sumunod sa nakalaan na budget, kaya ang mangyayari niyan ay isang powder cheese na lang yung mabibili instead na 3 flavors na powder cheese. And there's a big possibility na hindi maubos yung cassava chips na ititinda namin. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng customer or mga tao ay gusto yung cheese flavor. Yung target sales dapat namin na 100% ay hindi yun nangyari. Naging 30% na lang yung naibenta naming cassava chips because hindi sumunod sa budget. So, na-identify na yung issue. Instead na magsisiyan pa, gawin na lang itong lesson para hindi na maulit pa. Number 6 is archive documentation. This is the part where you need to finalize and itago lahat ng documents, project plans, scope outlines, costs, schedule, receipts, sales report, and customer feedback form. By compiling all this document will help you or us and easily revisit lessons learned and best practices for similar projects down the line. 7. Celebrate. Bakit nga ba need pang i-celebrate yung hard work mo? Kung yung DPWH nga, kahit pa chill-chill lang, nagsa-celebrate pa rin, pinapamper yung sarili nila sa mga luxury items, paano pa kaya tayong simpleng tao lang na nagtatrabaho ng marangal, nagbabayad ng buwis, hindi ba natin deserve mag-celebrate? Siyempre, deserve natin. Kailangan natin mag-celebrate or i-acknowledge yung effort na nagawa natin all throughout the production para din ma-motivate yung leader, yung members, na pagsipagan pa hanggang sa matapos yung production ng project na yon. Kasi pag meron kang motivation at the end of the day, mabibigyan ka rito ng lakas na magpatuloy, and also celebrating your milestone or achievement in life will also help you build a stronger relationship with your members. That's all.
Good day everyone, I am Jonami Arcerilo and I will be discussing the 5 ways to improve your customer service. 1. Live chat, a real-time text-based communication channel on a website or app that allows customer to directly interact with a company support or sales team. It allows for instant assistance via text, providing a faster alternative to email or phone calls for customer service, sales, and support. It combines the immediacy of a conversation with the convenience of text and is often integrated into a company's website or app. Ang live chat daw po ay isang feature sa website kung saan pwedeng i-direct message ng customer at agad na makakakuha ng sagot ang customer. For example po dito is yung PLDT. Yung PLDT is my PLDT Cares na i-chat ka sa messenger at agad ka na makakakuha ng sagot about sa mga concern mo. The second one is email outreach. Email remains one of the most valuable tools businesses have to gather candid customers' feedback. Email is at its most effective when customers get a fast response and an organized system is created to collect, manage, and digest customers' feedback in order to send follow-up emails. Sa pamamagitan daw po ng email outreach, pwedeng magpadala or mag-send ng personal message sa customer at makakuha ng honest opinion tungkol sa product or services. Para maging effective ang email outreach, dapat merong feedback strategy. Sabihin sa customer kung kailan sila makakatanggap ng sagot para hindi nila isipin na walang nakikinig. Kapag nag-reply ka agad at nakipag-dialogue, mas malakas ang customer trust at loyalty. Customer Feedback Survey, a questionnaire designed to gather customer opinions and satisfaction level regarding a company products, services, and overall experience. There are at least 2 ways to gather information with a survey, which is the long or short form survey. Either way you go, don't ask too many questions. That's a sure way to lose a customer interest or have them just speed through the survey. There are online or in-app survey tool that can meet your customer at the point where they are in fact interacting with your product or service. This is the point in which the data you collect is going to be most accurate and helpful. Customer feedback survey ay isang questionnaire na ginagamit ng mga may business para malaman kung ano ang mga opinion, experience at satisfaction ng mga customer sa kanilang product or services. Ang purpose ng customer survey is to measure customer satisfaction, to identify problems or weaknesses, to build better customer relationship, and to improve product or services. 4. Phone calls. The phone is a more personal or intimate communicative tool. Survey, emails, and even chat are still a distant way to connect. There's a vital wall that exists between the two parties with these technologies. Phones are technology too, of course, but the hurdle to clear is lower in terms of having a more authentic conversation about the product or services. For one thing, tone is always loose or less clear. When written, hearing a person's voice opens up a whole other dimension to understanding. The call can also help to get a customer excited to speak to a real person with whom they can express how a product or services could be improved. So, ang phone calls daw po ay isang mas personal na paraan para makakuha ng customer feedback. Kahit mas madalas na ginagamit ngayon ang survey o chat, mas authentic at mas malalim ang usapan kapag sa telepono. Kasi naririnig mo ang tono ng boses at mas madaling maintindihan ang tunay na damdamin ng isang customer. But, para maging effective, dapat genuine ang kausap. Ibig sabihin, talagang gusto niyang maintindihan ang customer at hindi lang basta ginagawa ang tawag para sa isang forma. Kapag naramdaman ng customer na hindi sincere, babagsak ang tiwala at sayang ang effort mo sa pagsagot ng phone calls. The last one is Customer Suggestion Board, a system for collecting and acting on customer feedback, which can be a physical box, an online forum, or a dedicated tool. This board helps businesses improve products and services by creating a visible and organized way to gather ideas and show customers their input is valued and act upon. A successful board is well structured, involves the right customer, and provides a clear path for communication and action. So, ang customer suggestion board daw po ay isang system para mangolekta at kumilos sa feedback ng isang customer. Pwede itong physical box, online forum, o digital tool na ginagawa para sa mga suggestion o idea ng customer. Nakakatulong ang ganitong board sa mga business para mapaganda ang products at services kasi nagbibigay ito ng organized at transparent na paraan para mangolekta ng ideas at para ipakita sa customers na pinapakinggan at pinapahalagahan ang opinion ng mga customer.
Good day everyone, I am Marian Jinsi Jabusa. I am the one who tackled about the early project termination. Planning for a project requires a lot of decisions to be made on institution and experience. There are times when shortcomings in the planning phase lead to disruption during execution. There are times when targets of the project are not met. No matter how unfortunate it might seem when one notices early signs of failure, one should terminate the project immediately to prevent further loss of time and resources. For example, imagine a company starts a project to develop a new mobile app. After 2 months, the team realized the app has many technical problems, the cost is higher than expected, and competitors already released better apps. So, the project manager studies the situation and sees that continuing the project will only waste more money. So, the manager decides to stop the project early instead of finishing it. They then explain the reasons to the team, thank them for their effort, and help them move on to a new, better planned project. The next is overrunning of expenses without meeting targets. Cost estimation is a major part of project planning. One needs to consider all the overheads and verticals involved, take care of costs due to third parties, and auxiliary functions. There are times when fresh investments are needed to be made in order to carry the project through, but when one notices the figures going way over the viable budget, then one should put a stop to the project during the initial phases itself. This is something wrong with the basic process planning if the desired output doesn't come under the expected cost. Overrunning of expenses without meeting targets means spending too much money on a project but not reaching the goals. This happens when the plan or budget is not made properly. If the cost keep increasing and the project is not improving, it's better to stop and check what went wrong. Example, a company plans to build a small office for 200,000. After a month, they already spent 180,000, but the building is only half finished. This means the project is overrunning expenses because it uses too much money without meeting the target of finishing the office. Doing better. It means other companies are performing better in the market. Before starting a project, a company should study its competitors. If it finds that other businesses are already stronger and it's too expensive to compete, it's better to stop the project early. This avoids wasting money and losing motivation among workers. For example, a new coffee shop plans to open a town, but there are already many popular coffee shops nearby offering cheaper prices and better quality. The owner realizes it will be hard to compete, so they decide not to continue the project. This is an example of stopping a project because competition is doing better. The next is project goes out of control. It means the project is no longer going as planned. This usually happens when there is poor management of people, time, or resources. If the work and results are far from what was planned, it's better to stop the project early before wasting more effort and money. For example, a company starts making a new project, but the workers are unorganized, materials are running out, and deadlines are missed. Everything is going off track. So the manager decides to stop the project because it has gone out of control. Other pressing priorities come up. Sometimes a company has to stop or delay a project because another task or goal becomes more important or urgent. When a new opportunity or need arises that can bring faster or better result, the company may choose to use its time, money, and effort on that instead. This helps the company stay practical and focus on what is most beneficial at the moment. For example, a company is working on a long-term project to develop a new software system that may take several years to finish. However, a new client requests an urgent project that can bring in a large profit within a few months. Because of this, the company decides to pause or stop the original project to focus on the more important and immediate opportunity. This shows how other pressing priorities can cause a project to be terminated. Failure upon repeated testing. It means that even after trying many times, the project or product keeps failing during test. This often happens because of mistakes in design, planning, or human error. If the project does not work properly, even after improvements, it's a sign that the project should be stopped or reviewed. A product must pass several tests before being released to the market. Otherwise, it will likely fail once customers use it. For example, a company is developing a new type of phone battery that should last longer than normal ones. However, during testing, the battery keeps overheating and losing power quickly. Even after fixing it several times, since the project still fails in repeated tests, the company decides to stop the project instead of wasting more time and money. This situation shows failure upon repeated testing. The next is unseen cause of danger. Means that during a project, unexpected safety risk or hazard appear that could harm people or cause serious damage. If someone gets injured or there's a chance of danger during testing or operation, it's best to stop the project immediately. Safety should always come first, and no project is worth continuing if it can put human life at risk. Example, A company is testing a new machine in their factory. During the test, one worker gets hurt because of a sudden mechanical failure that no one expected. After investigating, they find that the machine design has hidden safety issues. The company decides to terminate the project to prevent more accidents. This shows an unseen cause of danger that made the project unsafe to continue. Lastly, cutting corners at the wrong places means trying to save money or time by skipping important steps or using low-quality materials. Some project needs special skills, proper tools, and good resources to make sure the final product meets the right quality standards. If the company refuses to invest in this and choose cheaper or faster options instead, the project's quality will suffer. Poor quality can harm the company's image, so it's better to stop or rethink the project rather than release a bad product. For example, a furniture company starts a new project to make high-end chairs. However, instead of using strong wood and expert workers, the management decides to use cheaper materials and untrained labor to save money. When the chairs are produced, they easily break and customers complain. The company realized that cutting corners damage their reputation, so decide to end the project and improve their process next time. That's all po. Thank you.
Sir, tapos na po.